Hello, Papercut here doing another replay review, this time of Fletcher Time, a gold Mongol player. He posts on the AOE4 Reddit. He does not know why he lost this game. According to the end of the game statistics, he was producing, he had more resources, why did he lose? And we want to look at this game and figure out what he did wrong, what he should do differently. My guess is this is going to be a very matchup dependent one. He has Mongols against HRE. They are two opposite civs. Mongols wants to be aggressive. In the Dark Age, aggressive usually. And HRE wants to be left alone. They want to boom. They want to get to castle and take relics. So I'm going to be looking for, from a Mongol player against an HRE player, in my opinion, you have to tower rush. Especially with this map. Let's look at this map. This map is super small. And I think you spawn closer to your opponent on this map than any other map on the ranked ladder. And even in its history, I mean, only mountain clearing, I would say, would you spawn closer. But on this map, his gold's going to be exposed. And look right here. Look how far away his gold is. Look how close you are. No matter the map, if you're playing against HRE or any set that wants to boom China, Abbasid, etc., etc., you need to tower rush them to prevent that gold. And HRE more so than any, they don't want to stay in feudal. They want to get the castle. And so preventing that gold, starving them of resources, is going to be your way you're going to win this game, in my opinion. And then once you do that tower rush, you could boom behind it with like a trade, or you could just stay and just make units, and win in feudal. So let's see what you do. But not tower rushing is going to give the HRE player, I think, too much space. So first, dip in a little bit more. Because you like miss the sheep right here. But then the scouting pattern is good. Out and around. But I notice you're not tower rushing. And I think this is going to be a big mistake. Often try to think about what does my opponent want me to do. In this case, if I'm the HRE player and I don't get tower rushed, I am very happy. I'm very happy. So strong scouting pattern. Center out. Then go back around. Got a good amount of sheep. Man, it's right there. Look at that. He's aging up. Okay, so now as the generally aggressive civ, you need to circle. You need to scout around his base and see what is he opening with, but also where his backup resources. For example, if you cut up this gold, here's his backup gold. You need to know that so you can check it and get it. He has all his woodlines in the back. He has his deer on the right. But generally, as HRE, he's probably going to try to get up farms around the Akka Chapel. Just not leave his base. That's probably going to be his goal. Yeah, he actually doesn't have much around his base. He has this food here and this back gold, and these berries. And that's basically it. Look how far away this deer is. This is a really good setup for you to push on him and keep him in his base. So he gets up. You get up. I'm guessing you're gonna open double Keshiks immediately. Okay, so this is a good thing to see here. Your goal is that you should have been ready to get units at him immediately. Your macro split looks good now, but I wonder if when you're aging up, you could split your villagers better so that you could immediately gotten up. You could immediately produce the Keshik straight up when you first got up. But you're in Keshiks and Archers Classic. You need to get your, don't worry about scouting this. Since you have Keshiks coming in, the most important thing your scout can do, your con can do, is be right here to see where you can poke. Okay, so here's what I mean. Look at this. He shut you down. This tower is such an important tower for him. He's gonna have to be able to get up. He has enough sheep under his TC and the wood right here, and he's already walled up right here. You can't touch him. You honestly can't touch him. You could dive him, but you're gonna lose your Keshiks, and he now gets the castle for free, which he will, if he goes Regnitz, you could cut him off from getting relics, but what he'll probably do is go Burgrave. If you pressure him enough, he'll just go Burgrave. But now you're in a really tough spot, and that's all because you didn't Dark Age rush. And here's why. Like, it's super important for yourself, especially. Your Civ as Mongols is built to tower rush being able to double produce spearmen, your towers being able to distance, provide speed boosts, your need to trade and your lack of walls. So since you don't have walls, you need to keep your opponent in their base so they don't aggress upon you. And if you want to trade, you need to keep them in their base. So like Dark Age rushing and early aggression speak to what your Civ does really well, and his weaknesses too. Also, what I want to point out, this tower being here does not mean you can't cut off his gold. What you should have done immediately is you had two options. You either come over here and drop a tower right here, because if you tower about right here, he can shoot the tower with his tower, but he can't shoot your villager. And then if you upgrade it with stone, you can shoot him off the gold. That's an option. He will probably get the gold, though, in time to age up, so it's not going to stop his age up. The other option is you cut all production and you age up instantly. Like, you also just rush your age up. Let's see what you do. So you're circling, you notice the wall, you start massing units. There's no use, he's going to just push you off every time. You do a little cheeky tower here, which is not going to do... I mean, he'll keep him off his berries, but he's probably has up enough farms at this point that he's fine. He's aging up right now, and you need to scout. You need to see what he's going up with. Right now, you have no vision, so you have no idea what he's aging up with right now. Back at home, your macro splits are good for feudal fighting, but I think at this point you gotta go castle right now, because you're gonna need to dive him, right? If you wanted to actually take him on, you need to get siege engineer already, because basically you need to be dropping a ram the second he's hitting castle and attacking. Hits castle, you gotta go. That's what you do. Goes Burgrave. So now his plan is pretty simple. All he needs to do is not die. If he cannot die, he kills you. And here's the thing. Let's see your attack here. So you walk up. You poke. He has no units here. He's sitting his base. Okay, you can't run. Like, honestly, you can't run. More Keshiks would have been great, but 4 Keshiks can kill two men-at-arms. But basically, you have to like kill these men-at-arms, and then you have to just dive his wood line. Did he sneak any villagers out? No, he didn't. So yeah, also, I would have just gone boar. Boar will get you more food than deer. But anyway, you gotta go. Like, your units will be killed probably, but you have to do damage. You have to kill villagers. And so, while your Keshiks fight these men-at-arms, you really should just ram your archers in and just start poking at villagers. The other option is you just run all your units back, you go castle. But, I just really want to emphasize how not leaning into your Civ strengths and not responding to who your opponent is, your opponent being HRE and what they want to do, go castle quickly, defend their gold, go castle quickly. So if you didn't play into that, you're now in a tough spot. If you had Dark Age rushed, this would have pushed your opponent off gold. This would have forced him to play feudal and would have been better for you. And those decisions we make early have such an effect. And that's why we think through these matchups. That's why thinking of the matchup when you enter the game is really important. Like, when you enter, you should be like, Cliffside, HRE, I am rushing him. And now you're playing too passive, because you basically have let him build up his force without losing anything. Because with Burgrave, you kept him off food. Like, literally, he could not make any more units. Look at his food right now. It's at 13. Because he had to be in his TC. If you just stuck around, killed the spearmen that came out, and kept attacking with Keshiks, I think you would have won this. Especially if you kept on sending units forward, which you are right now, you would have won this, because he literally ran out of food the second you walked away. You had more units than him. And now you're attacking this tower, which... He needs food. Like, for this burger... So, there's a good thing. With the burger to work out, he needs food. He needs 100 food or 60 food for each unit, and he produces these fast. He basically used all his food in the initial wave, and you killed that wave, basically, and then you walked away. And then he forgets to do emergency repairs, which is funny. But you lost your aggressiveness. You overestimated what he had. You knew what he had. It was standing right there. It was 2 men-at-arms, and then your archers could have just shredded the spearmen that came out, and then you keep rallying Keshiks forward, and you just kill all his villagers, and he can't do anything. And now it's too little too late. Now he actually has the force to back it up, and this is when it's going to steamroll for you, probably. Yep, and now he's just making men-at-arms. You age up, and you got to just mass produce crossbows, spears, and Keshiks. You got to... These archers, throw them away. Honestly, just throw them away. And that's another reason why you dive with archers, because they're useless. He's going to go mass men-at-arms. Your archers are useless. So a good use for them would have been to walk under his TC and just kill villagers and die. But now you need another archery rank. Like, your mind, you need a shit ton of expos and then enough men-at-arms or Keshiks to just survive. Okay, you go... I don't know if I agree with the Kurultai, honestly. You need gold. You're starting this trade, which is going to be nice, but it's going to take a minute to kick up. If you had dropped, I forget what it's called, but the gold land, the game mark on the gold back here, you could have got all the gold you needed to make Keshiks and to make crossbows. But now you're going to be resource thin, and you're doing that so you can have this Kurultai landmark, which is nice, but like, you're dropping a... Oh, dude, what are we doing? You can't hold this. So, it's interesting. You were aggressive when you shouldn't be, i.e. you don't have the units to fight him. You have archers. And his men-at-arms now have the upgrade that make them good against... Oh, not yet, though, but they still do extra damage. But you weren't aggressive when you should have been earlier, when he didn't have units and you did have units. So, you're not timing your aggressiveness correctly. And you gotta take this run this Kurultai pack immediately. But you should have waited until you had crossbows. I haven't looked at your upgrades. You don't have really any. You have a gird down. You never got wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is super important. You need to get your eco upgrades right now. Here's the thing. You basically need like 2 to 3 expo per men-at-arm, and unless you have a really strong front line, but you have no front line, you have 1 Keshik. So at this point, he could walk in. Oh yeah, if he's not being aggressive, he could walk in on you right now. I'm guessing he's dropping these to do. He's guessing you're gonna do expo, so he's gonna drop horsemen, so you need spears. That's why I said spears. I said spears because he's gonna have to go horsemen, and then you lose your... That sucks. And you dive, but you dive with really nothing. This is why you needed to grab the boar too, because you're just desperate for all resources, and boar gives you more food. Yeah. This is tough. But no, you at this point you delay. You gotta delay. You can't take a fight here, you need way more crossbows. And you should see he's getting horsemen. And he's defended up. Like, your only option, if you wanted to, you could have ran the Kesh just back here and attacked the backside, but he also has 2 outposts. So at this point, you just have to mass up the counter unit and eventually get siege. Like, really, your win condition now is you have to mass units and let your trade, in which if you're going to do trade, you should put down like 3 markets. You basically need to wait for your trade to pay off and just mass and delay. You need, like, you should put up 2 more towers and just keep pumping crossbows. You never upgraded your Keshiks. And look at that, look how many horsemen he pumped out. Because he has all these farms, and his villagers are still under the Aachen for wood, and he can just pump units. And now you're actually starting to catch up eco-wise because of your trade, but he took better trades and didn't lose his army, and your army's not set up to fight this now. And he walks over you. GG. But you actually had resources, right? You had resource spend, but you didn't have enough production. So let's summarize what you need to do here. 1, make sure you adjust your game plan to your opponent. If you're playing a boom civ, you got to Dark Age Rush, Tower Rush. And in fact, I would say you almost always should Dark Age Tower Rush. The only one you can't do is English because of their short bows. Every other civ, I mean, honestly, you should tower rush them because that's your civ's one of its best qualities. So adjusting your game plan for your opponent. HRE, you want to go to castle, you gotta cut off their gold. 2, you didn't make your counters fast enough, so when you went up the castle, you didn't get enough crossbows out. You weren't scouting and then made the spear switch. You never upgraded your Keshiks. So like taking care of your units and upgrading, getting your counters. And lastly, you weren't aggressive at the right aggressive points. So you realized he's protecting his gold. I need to build up units. The second he went castle, you got to go all in to the level of I'm going to run to the TC. I don't care because you got to switch units anyway. You can't run archers. You need crossbows. Keshiks, you can make more of them. Rally and go because the second he hits Burg, he went naked castle. He had no units. So if you just sit under his Burgrave, kill his units, and then rush his villagers, you might not kill him, but you'll hurt him so much economically that gives you time to go up to castle and then win. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're ever interested in private coaching, I do private coaching. Message me on Discord. Information's in the description. And good luck on your future games.